So I thought one of the points was that this was going to help financially.
I know, but the prices discouraged me so bad I could scream, but being there was so just yummy.
The infamous Flagstaff move, where logic took a backseat, and Kody's fantasy of securing the family's financial future was about as believable as a unicorn sighting. Let's break it down. So the wives are sitting there, nodding along, talking about how much land and houses there are in Flagstaff, while Robyn plays the sympathetic role, all while knowing full well the move is happening, and no one has the guts to say it out loud, except Mary. Oh, Mary, the only one who dared to point out the glaring, neon-lit contradiction in Kody's pitch to the wives. This is not a good financial decision, at all. But Mary, the lone voice of reason in a sea of ignorance, yep, she was right. It's crystal clear that this move is going to hurt, not help, their finances. Now, here's the kicker. Kody himself says it out loud. You'll get a lot less house for a lot more money. So why the heck would you do it? But we all know why, right? Cough, cough, Dayton school. But Kody, the master of avoiding questions, just responds with, Flagstaff is so yummy. Seriously, yummy? As if that makes it any less absurd. The rest of the wives, instead of pushing back like Mary, just sit there in stunned silence. Maybe they were too afraid to rock the boat, keep the show going, or make Kody upset. Or maybe they were just oblivious to the giant financial disaster unfolding in front of them. Who knows? The move was sold as this savvy financial decision, but in reality, it was a total flop. When they first moved to Vegas, they all lived within a mile of each other and complained nonstop about how hard it was on the kids. Fast forward to Flagstaff, and the plan is to spread out even more, living further apart in a more expensive area with land that's raw, undeveloped, and flood-prone. Oh, and did I mention that they still don't have sewage or running water? But sure, let's celebrate that yummy decision, Kody. What's even more mind-blowing is that they bought this overpriced land without doing basic research. Surprise! No sewage system. Surprise! No water. You have to wire for electricity, internet, and cable, all on your own dime. I'm honestly shocked Kody didn't faint in disbelief when he realized this land wasn't going to magically provide all the amenities he wanted. Did he think this was some kind of pioneer fantasy? Or was he just completely clueless about what undeveloped land actually needs? Oh, and let's not forget about the elephant in the room. This whole thing was basically Robyn's decision. Kody gets what he wants, and Robyn gets a shiny new house, paid for by the other wives' finances. Perfectly fair, right? It's like the whole move was a well-executed, manipulative scheme. You can almost hear Robyn in interviews claiming that the wives handed Kody to her, while conveniently forgetting that she didn't exactly work to pay for anything herself. No, just slide those bills over and let someone else foot the bill. What a dream life. Now, the real theory behind this whole mess? It wasn't just for Dayton, though that was certainly part of it. It was about control. Specifically, Kody's control over the wives' equity. Mary had her B&B, Christine had her own house, and Kody couldn't stand that. He wanted to pull that equity into something he could control, like some sort of financial power grab. And let's not forget the whole secret pact between Kody and Robyn. Robyn's job was to listen to the wives' concerns and pretend to empathize, all while softly nudging them into accepting this disaster. Kody, his job was to take each wife aside, tell them how great Flagstaff would be, it wouldn't, and play on their insecurities so they'd feel bad about not supporting him. Mary, she saw through the whole charade and pointed out the obvious. Why not wait until you move to Flagstaff before buying land? But nope, the decision was already made. And of course, Mary was completely ignored every step of the way. Whenever she raised a reasonable concern, the other wives just piled on, accusing her of being the difficult wife who wasn't excited about this mess. It was painful to watch, even for someone who isn't exactly Team Mary. In the end, it was clear none of this was about the family. It was about Kody's control, Robyn's new house, and a financial disaster waiting to unfold. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. Dear TLC, it's time to cut Kody and Robyn loose. They bring absolutely nothing to the table except negativity. Robyn's strict "no cameras in my house" rule ensures that we're all left in the dark about their kids, so we're not even invested in their lives. The show is currently stuck focusing on the 3 OG wives while Kody and Robyn sit in the background, whining about the OG 3. So do us all a favor, ditch the drama and rename the show to something more fitting, like After Sister Wives or Sister Wives No More. Then focus on Meri, her B and B, Leon and Aubrey, if they want to be involved, and Meri's quest for love, Christine and her new life with David, her kids and grandkids in Utah, and Janelle and her fresh start in North Carolina. Just stop asking the OG 3 about Kody. Let that storyline fade into oblivion. Kody and Robyn can stay in the background at family events, looking miserable, but let's keep them out of the limelight. And let's be real, no cameras in my home should automatically disqualify anyone from a reality show about family life. TLC's needs to demand more authenticity or just cut them entirely. Here's what I think. TLC is probably considering dropping Kody and Robyn, just like they did with John and Kate. They'll test it for a season or 2, and then, mark my words, one of the OG 3 will end up on Dancing with the Stars. Can you imagine Kody's reaction? He might be the best dancer, but he'll definitely be seething inside. But honestly, I don't need that to happen. I want to see Kody and Robyn remain on the show, so I can watch them get their just desserts. It would be amazing to see Kody get a new, younger wife or 2 or 3 and watch how Robyn and her kids deal with it. I need to see the OG 3 continue thriving and living their best lives without the constant drama. Because let's face it, a show with just the OG 3, it'd be too peaceful, too positive. The kind of thing that just doesn't fit the reality TV mold. TLC would ruin it by creating fake drama between them, count on it. I'm watching season 19 right now, and Robyn's claim that her house is for the family is laughable. Are we supposed to believe that when the film crew can't even get inside, Meri has to freeze outside when she visits? How exactly is that house for the family when Kody just called it Robyn's house? Meanwhile, Janelle and Meri deserve credit for the equity they've put into the house, which is significant. Christine didn't contribute money from her house sale, but she did give up her property on Coyote Pass, which was probably worth more than the equity she got from her Flagstaff home. All of these homes were bought with family money, except for Meri's B and B. So, TLC, do the right thing. Ditch Kody and Robyn and give us a more authentic, enjoyable show. Please. Meri's life took a nosedive thanks to Robyn. She literally gave up her legal wife status, a huge deal, both legally and personally. Losing her standing in the family and being so easily dismissed by Kody had to sting. And as if that wasn't enough, Robyn dangles the hope of having another baby in front of Meri, only for it to be nothing but empty promises. Must have been heartbreaking to even entertain the idea, only for it to never materialize. Then there's Robyn's role in the catfish situation. Let's be real, without Robyn's inside scoop, the catfisher wouldn't have had the ammo they did. Robyn probably handed over all the private info, serving up a play-by-play from her friend, and that catfish plot might have never seen the light of day. And let's not forget the financial drain. Meri poured so much of her own money into propping up Robyn's ridiculous lifestyle, nannies, houses, jewelry, you name it, while Robyn sat there doing the bare minimum. It's almost like Meri was funding her laziness. Robyn's constant siding with Kody only deepened the divide between Meri and the rest of the family, Janelle, Christine, and probably a good chunk of the kids. It's no surprise Mary ended up isolated. But hey, that was just the tip of the iceberg. The worst part? Robyn straight up ruined Mary's chance at a normal life outside of this mess. Mary had dreams like going to college, but Robyn couldn't have cared less. When Mary even hinted at returning to school, Robyn pulled the classic "I need you here to help with the kids" guilt trip. Are you kidding? Robyn acts like Mary is required to be a free babysitter, even though she's done nothing for Mary in return. And the kicker, Robyn played the "if you go to school, you'll distance yourself from the family" card, completely dismissing the fact that education was something Mary cared about. But of course, Robyn doesn't value that she doesn't care about building a career. So why should Mary, and Mary in true form, actually apologized for wanting to do something for herself? It's infuriating. I'm betting Robyn knew about Mary's college plans before Mary even told her. She probably went to Kody and played the "I can't have more kids without more help" card, knowing it would pressure Mary to stay home and forget her dreams. Classic manipulation. And Kody. Honestly, he's just the worst thing to ever happen to Mary. Now, I'll play devil's advocate for a second. If Kody and Mary hadn't legally divorced, and if the family had funded Mary's B&B, she might have been in a much worse financial spot. At least now, some of her assets are separate, which might be the only silver lining in this whole mess. But even then, it doesn't excuse how Robyn and Kody have treated her. In conclusion, Robyn is awful, Kody is awful, and I hope they end up miserable and broke. They absolutely deserve it. Robyn and Kody's house. Well, we all know how they managed to afford that massive place by cashing in on Janelle and Mary's homes. I can't quite remember if Christine pitched in too, but honestly, who cares? It's clear who footed the bill. It's honestly appalling that Janelle and Mary are now stuck in a financial bind because they put Robyn's needs above their own, all for Kody. How sweet. And let's be real, Kody and Robyn better hand over the proceeds from Janelle's Vegas house. Janelle's owed that, along with 1/5 of Coyote Pass and whatever other assets are floating around. It's beyond infuriating that Kody has managed to financially exploit his wives like this. So, what's next? Do you think Janelle will actually demand her money? And what about Mary? I honestly thought a court case was imminent, but since there's been no legal action in the last couple of years from Christine, Mary, or Janelle, I'm starting to think they've all got some dirty laundry they don't want aired. And here's a thought. If Kody and Robyn did get a mortgage, wouldn't they have to call the proceeds from Janelle's and Mary's houses a gift? I mean, if they don't explain where that money came from, things could get real shady. But they could probably use that as their excuse to claim it doesn't need to be paid back, right? Classic. Mary wanted Kody to end their marriage on camera, and frankly, it's been obvious for seasons now that he hasn't been acting like a husband to her. Seriously, it's been glaringly clear, yet everyone's been left scratching their heads wondering why she's still holding on. We've all speculated. What is it that Mary doesn't get? What's keeping her around? Well, here's the kicker. It's Kody. His behavior is classic manipulation, and it's pretty wild to think she had to document him admitting it on camera. Remember that tell-all where Kody mentioned maybe getting back together with Mary, but then claimed he didn't because of Christine. Yeah, that was a straight-up lie, and Robyn backed him up on it. Let's be real, those two were just spinning their own version of the story. Then Janelle, wise as ever, pointed out how Kody constantly changes his narrative to see which angle sticks. Honestly, it's like Kody's been pulling this same routine with the original 3 wives for years, getting them just enough to keep them hooked while he gets whatever he wants. It's obvious why Mary needed to document this on camera. Kody has been saying stuff like, "I don't know why she's still here in Flagstaff," making it sound like Mary's this pathetic, needy woman who just can't move on. He's been manipulating her off camera too, making vague claims that maybe, just maybe, there's hope for their relationship. all while secretly having no intention of fixing anything. Anyone would go crazy trying to deal with that level of emotional ping pong. Mary, she had enough. It was time to call him out. So she needed to get it all on record, not only to show what she's been dealing with for years, but also to force Kody to stop playing games. Just say it, Kody. What's your real intention here? I'm 100% sure Kody was telling Mary something totally different from what he told the audience or the other wives. We saw him do the same thing to Christine when she wanted to move back to Utah, telling her one thing, then flipping it to everyone else like it was all Christine's idea. This is Kody's thing. He tells everyone what they want to hear while twisting the story. Is he just a terrible communicator? A coward who can't face the truth? Or is he a master manipulator who gets off on playing both sides? I'd argue it's all of the above. Anyone who doesn't get why it took Mary so long to see the marriage was over just doesn't get Kody's game. Then, when he finally admits it's over and wants to keep it private, classic Kody move, right? Mary wasn't having it. She was done covering for him, especially not in front of Robyn. That veil of charity thing they always talk about. You know, where they cover for each other's secrets. Mary had reached her limit. No more covering up his lies for him, not when he's been so brazen about it all along. She wanted to make sure her side of the story and Kody's manipulations were all on record. And let's not forget the masterstroke. Mary's conversation with Kody was calculated, almost surgical. She had probably prepped with a therapist or lawyer, ready to corner him and get him to admit all the stuff he had been hiding for years, the secret covenant, the lies he and Robyn had been feeding her, and his plans to screw her out of her share of the family property. It was a beautiful moment of truth. Janel's comment about Kody trying different angles really hit home. He does it with the audience too, always switching tactics to see what resonates. It's almost funny if you can stomach his antics. And then there's that dramatic moment when Kody sits down with Christine at her house while she's breaking up with him. He's calm, collected, nothing like when he's outside Robyn's house, screaming like a man on fire, all for the cameras. Yeah, that was purely performative. You could see he wasn't having the same breakdown when it was just him and Christine. It's all about the spectacle with Kody. Kody's treatment of Mary over the Perron house deal. Absolutely disgusting. Sure, Mary has her own issues, her sense of entitlement and the way she constantly plays the victim, but Kody's behavior was next-level petty. Let's break it down. I wasn't shocked when he immediately shot down the idea of her buying the house. That's Kody being Kody, after all. But what's really foul is how he played both sides. He pretends to be supportive after seeing the house, acting all warm and fuzzy, and then he turns right around when it's time to talk to the other wives, slipping back into his usual, condescending, disapproving self. Classic Kody. Then he offers to help with the down payment, and the very next time they meet, he's like, "Nah, we need that money for the family." Like, what even? This whole thing screamed purposeful cruelty. And then, to top it off, the other wives, who have contributed nothing to the financial risk, are disappointed Mary won't share equity. That's a hard pass from me. You put in the work. You took the risk. Keep your damn money, Mary. You earned it. On a side note, I think it was Nikki Haverstock on YouTube who nailed it when she pointed out how Kody's opinions seemed to change after a chat with Robyn. He was all hyped about the B&B idea until he went home and Robyn gave him her "you better not do that" Kody speech. Suddenly, the B&B was no longer the great idea he thought it was. That's some serious manipulation right there. Now, bear with me for a weird segue. I recently read a biography about Charles Manson. I know, stick with me. And it talked about how he took the Dale Carnegie course on how to win friends and influence people. The trick, apparently, was making people think your idea was actually theirs. Immediately, I thought of Robyn. It's like she's been pulling the strings with Kody the whole time, his flip-flopping on the B&B. The whole moving to Flagstaff thing, And don't even get me started on how the coronavirus saga unfolded. That was Robyn in Kody's skin. He's just her puppet. And let's not forget when he practically agreed to go back to Utah with Christine and then immediately threw her under the bus. Real stand-up guy, right? What an absolute a-hole. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.